The original Double Dragon was a fantastic game, and one that really moved the scrolling beat 'em up game to a whole new level. So it comes as no surprise that Technos would want their second Double Dragon game to be innovative as well. Only this time, they didn't innovate in a very good way. You see, Double Dragon 2 uses left and right buttons. Now while this sounds fine, it causes some major confusion, and is one of the reasons I really don't like this game. You see, when facing right, one button is punch and the other is kick. Turn around and face left and the controls also switch. The punch button is now kick and the kick button is now punch. The logic behind the controls is understandable, but it's annoying as hell unless you can get used to it. The Mega Drive port, like many others, features the arse backwards controls. However, this version is quite poor for a whole different reason. The poor programming sends the game into a crippling slowdown when almost nothing is on the screen. Not only that, but the AI also enjoys nothing more than trapping you, making it impossible to escape once you are stuck between two enemies. Still, despite the poor gameplay, the game does have some pretty good audio. Would you believe it? The Amiga port is actually reasonable, and because there are no left and right controls, it's actually more fun to play than other versions. The graphics are also pretty good. In some cases you may even say they are better than the arcade version. Just a shame about the lack of music. By the way, did you know that the helicopter in the garage is the one from Thunderstorm FX, or Cobra Command as it was called in the West? It's true! Just like the car in the original Double Dragon is from Road Avenger. The ST version is quite similar to the Amiga in looks, but much slower in the control department. It also features very bad sampled audio from the arcade game. It sounds as if somebody has put a tape recorder next to the arcade game and hit the record button. Younger viewers probably won't have a clue what I'm talking about. The PC Engine version is quite an unusual port. Rather than being a direct arcade port, it has been arranged quite like the Famicom version coming up next. The gameplay is quite different also, but not in such a good way. The collision detection seems off, with punches not seeming to connect. The animation is pretty sparse too. As for that new soundtrack, well, I'm not a fan, that's for sure.
のヘリで逃げようってわけか。そうはさせるか。
待ってろよ。
And here we go with the Famicom version. Just like the original Famicom Double Dragon, this version has also been arranged. Fans of the system will probably be happy with the changes, while others may find it off-putting. Personally, I'm not too keen on the side-scrolling platform levels. By the way, this version was developed by Technos themselves, while the PC Engine version seen just before this was based upon this version, with the port being handled by Naxat. All the Yoto home computer ports were developed by Binary Design, and it must be said that they've done an excellent job on the graphics in this CPC port. It's just a shame the gameplay is really slow. Not only that, but the controls are unresponsive, resulting in picking up items a real pain. Ah, doesn't the Commodore 64 version look cute? Well, it's not. The game is one mean, tough SOB. Just like the Mega Drive version, the AI loves nothing more than to trap you between two enemies, making it impossible to escape. There are two versions for the ZX Spectrum, a 128K version and the 48K version. We are taking a look at the 128K version. Both look pretty much the same, although this 128K version does have superior audio, believe it or not. The game is really simple, with the levels being cut down quite a bit. The first stage doesn't even have the boss guy. While the Game Boy does have Double Dragon 2 in the West, this isn't actually Double Dragon at all. It's a reskinning, or as we used to say, a localization of Technos' own Neketsu Koha Kunio-kun Bangai Rento-hen, which is part of the Kunio series of games. Because of this, it plays nothing like Double Dragon 2. Still, it's not a bad little game.
Begin.
Double Dragon 2 for the 360 is a game that was in development for 3 years. You'd think after 3 years we'd be getting something amazing. That's not the case with this game. Branson Creative Company, the South Korean developer and publisher, have given us a game that looks awful, runs on a glitch-infested game engine, boring as hell gameplay, and all-round shitty game. It's amazing how a simple game could have turned out to be so bad after 3 years of development. And let's take a look at all these versions of Double Dragon 2 running together.